YouTube? Welcome back to Universe X, and today we are going to be discussing more spoilers from Battle Spirit Saga Set 2 False Gods, and we're jumping right into the white spoilers. This may be weird to some people because we kind of skipped over purple, but as a purple main, I'm feeling a little underwhelmed with the purple spoilers, and I'm trying to figure out how to best go about that, because my best content comes from the art. I gotta best figure out how I want to go about that, but as per usual, just want to say that if you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, join the Universe X family, and maybe hit those notification buttons. Well, you can comment, you can join the Discord, go down the link tree and find out anything you need to find out about Universe X, including links to get discounts on sealed product from Mystic TCG, one of the best places to buy your sealed product, or pre-ordered as well, and you can still pre-order Set 2 False Gods, so there's that. But you can also go to TCG Player and go to my affiliate link and whatnot. And then last but not least, and right before we get into the spoilers, if you want to really help support my endeavors, go in the description and go over to my Dragon Ball gaming channel and just click subscribe, because the moment I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be able to get monetized on that very fast, and every little bit of help would count. So let's hop into these spoilers and let's get into it. All right, here we are. We have changed, well, I guess buttoned up our shirt because it wasn't green screen friendly. It was gonna just vanish. But when it comes to white spoilers, if you guys thought that Axe Spider was like wild in, you know, just comparison to the power level of the other TP cards, you will not be further disappointed or further surprised, depending on which side of the spectrum you land on, when it comes to spoilers for white, because so far they're starting to come out strong. The first card we have on our docket is Trickster Machine God Loki. 6 cost, 2 reduction, so it's gonna be 4 in a maintenance cost. That's a solid effect, or solid cost for a good effect. This says, when destroyed by an opponent, summon one of your mecha tokens, token spirit / white / 0 cost / mecha token / level 1 / BP 3K white reduction. So that's actually kind of crazy that they just have an entirety of a card effect put in that little space, but this is pretty neat. This tells us a whole lot of things. This tells us that tokens will be able to stack reduction, so they're going to actually be crucial into building a, you know, like upward ramp of reduction to start playing your bigger guys. So while mechas don't have like the Fortress Numengard, like that's going to, or Numengard City, whatever, that's going to reduce reduction by that much, depending on the token cards they give us, we're going to be able to actually have a stable way to build reduction. Now, these are 3Ks so far. I'm not sure how many they're going to be, how many like different tokens are going to be, but I'm assuming a lot of them are going to be 3K, simply because they're going to print token cards, and you do not want to have a bunch of them with varying attack. So I'm assuming lots of these tokens will be meant to be destroyed by pretty much every destruction in the game to balance the fact that they're just making free bodies, free blockers, potentially free swingers, and free reduction. It says right here, token cards come up from inside the game, place cores onto them from either your field or reserve. Between the level 1 and the you know, text saying you place cores on them, you're gonna have to put maintenance cores on these. But let's talk about more about Trickster Machine God Loki. You've got 1 for 4K, level 1, 2 cores for level 2 at 6K, and then you've got 4 cores for 8,000. Fairly low stats on its level 3, but good high stats when it comes out. And during either player step, when your opponent or you loses life, select one of your mecha spirits or nexuses. You may return it to your hand or refresh this spirit. This is really cool. However, normally nexuses are meant for their staying power. You play them and you get advantage through them, or from them, throughout the game. However, this one in specific is going to be great because a lot of mechas do have good come into play effects. You've seen quite a few of them, and this is going to be a very, very strong way to recycle come into play effects, especially on your cheap mecha spirits. So Trickster Machine God Loki, great on the attack, great on the defense, give you something when he goes away. When he dies, he's not necessarily setting you immediately back on your reduction. He's just going to be able to make a token, and they have to get rid of the token if they want to further halt your reduction. There's a lot of upsides to this, and I can't wait to see if it has an SPR, because this card looks gorgeous as is. I'm really loving this art. Moving on to the next one, we got Winged God Mech Grand Woden. This name is actually pretty beast, but you've got this one, and it's level 1, 2, and 3 during opponent's turn. When your opponent uses a magic card from their hand, they must discard a card as additional cost. Wow. We are already getting to the taxation cards, and white is just looking better and better. This is going to make it very, very hard for your opponent to do a lot of cool things that they normally would do in the flash step. I mean, you got to think about it. Deadly Balance, Volcanic Break, Exhaust Nexus. There's going to be Angelic Pressure. There's going to be Drowsy Fumes. Wow, every time I try to move on, there's more things. There's going to be a lot of cards, Burning Force, that are going to trigger this and cause your opponent to have to drop things. And it is a mecha, but it has 8 reduction, so that means that yes, these tokens, these mechs, they're going to be able to ramp quite nicely into this guy. It's going to be a 5 cost at minimum, you know, 1 maintenance core, 4 cores, but that's not bad. Now level 2 and 3, during your turn, refresh the spirit when your opponent uses a magic card from their hand. That is crazy, because that means you're going to be able to pressure and defend. Both this one and Loki have good effects that are going to actually, this, I guess it says during your turn. So during your turn, this is actually going to be pretty nice. If they try to use a removal spell or anything that changes the battle math, they're going to have to discard a card, and this guy's going to swing again, getting more, you know, just more use. The only thing this really doesn't help is if they use Ice Shield from hand, but hey, it is what it is. And then level 3, when one of your spirits are refreshed, this spirit gains 4k BP during this turn. And this can stack multiple times. It's not a once per turn. This is when one of your spirits. So any regain shenanigans can potentially really help this too. And this is also not during your turn. So if this guy blocks and then, you know, they refresh or something, or they use something and he refreshes, or you know, like you use something like regain, this guy is going to go up heavy, block, and then can block again for mad damage. So all mad battle power. So this is overall a really cool effect. And just with its wings, I wouldn't mind that this is an altar too. This is just really cool. I'm definitely loving this. So we're actually starting to see a lot of cool things, because now we've got Thunder God Mech Donar. And this guy seems to be based off of, I actually can't tell. The other one had like a bird, and this one I can't really tell. It's maybe it's like a Hercules beetle, the way its cannon is. I really have to see. But it's a 5 cost 2 reduction, so basically it's going to be a 4 drop at minimum. Level 1 and 2, armor red yellow. It's nice to see some yellow on here. That's pretty intense. And then when this spirit attacks or blocks, select one of your token spirits. You may place all the cores from it into this spirit to draw 2 cards. So it's going to turn a singular token into draw. And this is where we start to get very dangerous, because one of the things that White sorely lacked was draw on command. Yes, Newman Guard allowed you to draw 3 ramp 3, but Newman Guard also had to be swung into. Like, it wasn't like detrimental, but you had to get Newman Guard on the field first. You can't be dream bombed. There's a lot of things, but this right here is going to start really shifting us into a position where mid game White's going to start drawing heavily. And when White draws heavily, they're drawing into Dream Bombs they can catch for 3. They're drawing into their Ice Shields as well as any other deck. They're drawing into their Axe Biters. This is getting dangerous. Let me tell you that. Next, we've got Gunsmith Mine. It's a 4 cost with 2 reduction. That's always one of my favorites because it's going to cost 2 with a maintenance core most of the time. Level 1 and 2 when summoned, if the number of spirits you control is equal to or fewer than your opponent's, which in White very well could be because you're not swarming in mid-range White / control White most of the times, you're going to summon 1 Mecha token. Same exact stats, so that makes sense. Now, this guy is always going to be able to be Burning Forced, and so that's also kind of an issue. If Burning Force continues to see play, maybe not, looking at some of these cards, but if Burning Force continues to see play, we're going to be in a format where your opponent can just Burning Force this and the token off, and then you feel like you wasted mad stuff, especially if they had the stuff to do on their turn, because they're not really inhibiting their following turn by doing that. So, interesting. You're building up reduction. This guy essentially is going to come out and make 2 reduction and 2 bodies, so that's pretty neat too. Next, we got Tank Mobile KV2. If I'm not mistaken, isn't the Tank Mobile Mark 1 the one that we just didn't see anything on? Like, we didn't have a foil on? I don't know. Point being, it's vanilla. It's got some cool flavor text. You can read that on your own time now. And then we're going to move over to Merged Mech Lord Mammoth Aegis. Now, this one is crazy. The funny thing about this one to me is that we're looking at Winged God Mech Lord Grand Woden, which is a mecha, and Thunder God Mech Donar. And the funny thing about this is that I think I see pieces of at least, let's see, I don't think I actually see their pieces on here. So this is a merge one, whatever. But this is a machine beast, and I see animalistic parts of it. Like, you can see that it has the tail, it has like a little like cat feline like thing on one knee, an elephant on its chest, maybe even like another mammoth thing on its shoulder. But I don't really understand why this is a beast. Just to have that Newman Guard City proc off of it. Anywho, 8 cost, 8 reduction, or 4 reduction. Level 1 and 2 when summoned, draw a card if you have fewer cards in hand than your opponent has in theirs. That's wonderful. And place a core from the void into your life if you have less life than your opponent. This is not okay. This is a stabilization card at the minimum. You pay 5 cores. This comes out at 6k, not being able to be Volcanic Break without the soul core, not being able to be Burning Force. but it's going to come out and instantaneously draw you a card and gain you a life if you, I don't know, the mid-range / control deck have been taking damage while you're attempting to stabilize. This is nasty. And if you can think about it, since it's a machine beast, of course, Numengard's automatically going to do some things, Numengard City, with it. And if you play these like back to back in a late game state, you could gain 2 life, draw 2 cards, and just have 2 big bodies to get back into the game. Disgusting. Level 2, during opponent's turn, when this spirit is exhausted, select one of your opponent's spirits with 5 costs or fewer and return it to hand. This hits a surprising amount of things in the format. What can I say? This card is actually just snap. Like, it's very, 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 very strong. And it's definitely probably gonna have an X-Rare Gundam. I just want to see which Gundam it is. But this is absolutely insane. Next, we're going to go to Blizister Eagle. Art looks great. It is a 6 cost, but it has 5 reduction, so it's only gonna cost 2 when you have the right things, and Numengard City will interact with this because it's a machine beast. You've got level 1, level 2 armor, purple, green, and yellow. Very interesting color, but this guy will not be able to be touched by these exhausting green cards, by these core destruction or core removal purple cards, outside of Bishop, Curse Dragon, of course. And it also won't be able to be touched by things like Exhaust Nexus and things like that. So that's pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting. Or I guess more like Angelic Pressure and Drowsy Fumes. Now, when this spirit blocks, this spirit cannot be destroyed by your opponent's destruction effects during the battle. So if it blocks, it kind of gets that that elk. It can be destroyed by battle, but it can't be destroyed by effects. So that's pretty neat. We're gonna be looking at that. The armor is very important. Next, we got Lion Machine God Super Bia, Machine Beast / Void Lord. So we have the Void Lord of white. Of course, another 10 drop with 6 reduction. It's a machine beast, so you already know what that archetype tribe be doing. Now, level 1, 2, and 3 when summoned. At the end of the turn, place 3 cores from your trash onto this spirit. You cannot place a soul core onto this spirit with this effect. Okay. However, that's pretty much making sure that you can't just use your soul core in a magic or in a spell, magic card and then just put it back on it to use it on your opponent's turn. So that's very well worded. But it does mean you can play this guy, and at the end of your turn, it's instantly going to turn to level 2. And at level 2 and 3, when one of your opponent's spirits is returned to the hand, you may pay 2 cores from the spirit to refresh it, so you can get another blocker out of this, or you can get another swinger out of this. Now, this last one, it's level 3. During your opponent's attack step, when you lose life, refresh this spirit. So you can block with this guy, and they can swing again. You can untap this guy, and then, yeah. And then also with correlation with other cards, you'll be able to gain, like, attack on certain things. Like your Winged God Mech Grand Woden will get a boost when the other thing refreshes. This is just actually a lot. There's a lot of synergy just with the cards we're seeing, and I am here for it. We're moving on to Ursas Polaris, and this card says when this spirit blocks at level 2, your spirit's soul core on them gain 3000 BP during this turn. It says your spirits, it's really weird because when I see wording like this, my brain is instantly like, are we gonna get more soul cores later? Are we gonna have the ability to use more soul cores later? But at the moment, this is just gonna boost one thing. So I definitely like this. Or maybe you'll get a card that says treat this card as if it had a soul core on it. Who knows? But yeah, these are the first, I think, 14 cards of this bit. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Never mind. These are the first 9 cards of white, and we have seen quite a lot. So just get prepared because, you know, white is going to be doing its thing, and you got to be ready for that. So with that being said, I'm going to bring this video to a close. I want you guys to potentially stay around for the Mystic TCG commercial. I just know that it's one of the best places, if not the best place, you can buy your sealed product. And you can use the code UNIXTCG to get 5% off, and that is going to be what it is. Get in there, get your product, make sure that you are ready to play any deck that's good. Pre-order your product in advance, and yeah. So yeah, just go look at that, and I hope you guys have a great day. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I think I'm going to be doing a double drop today on Battle Spirits. We just had a online of it, and I think I want to go into the deck list, so how about that? So yeah, thanks, and you guys have a wonderful day. Later. So let's talk about Mystic TCG, your one-stop shop for all your TCG needs. On the site, you can buy or pre-order plenty of sealed product for plenty of games. Just make sure though, if you're pre-ordering, to give it 3 to 4 months in advance to start looking, because sometimes the product is indeed hot, supply and demand, you know? And then if you want to buy singles, go on tcgplayer.com. There's going to be a link in the description where you can buy for the best value. And if you want to sell cards or collections, you can message them on their Facebook site so you can get the best bang for your buck on any type of way you want to buy or sell cards. And then while you're at it, you can use the code UNIXTCG at checkout to get even more of a discount. So hey, what are you waiting for? Check out Mystic TCG today.